Well, what started literally as a lightning strike on July 1st, and we usually get informed that there's a small fire up on the mountain or this and that, quickly became certainly the Carpenter 1 event.
And as we were sitting there, trees exploded, and it was like 200 feet in the air that flames shot up. Things, you could almost feel it, and we're at 8,000 feet at our home. Across from there, you could hear it. And I went, oh, this is not good.
Carpenter 1 fire still raging out of control at this hour. What was once at 15% containment has now dropped to just 10.
So far, one building in Prospect Ranch has been destroyed, and those homes in Kyle Canyon, I'm sorry, I'm hearing you from the control room, 6 structures are now confirmed to have been lost. So that is an update that we have just received this morning. Again, 6 structures now. That's not good news.
Yeah, good morning, guys. The fire has been burning for more than a week now.
15%, and as of note, the fire jumped Kyle Canyon Road. We are covering the Carpenter 1 fire as it is now swelled to nearly 20,000 acres.
I went on my first fire quite a long time ago. I think this is the 34th year as a wildland firefighter and 25 years in the structure all-risk business. What you can do to help mitigate disasters before they start is the relationships that you're going to need to build so that you can get through a disaster once it does start. Where are you evacuating to? Who's taking care of those people? What are we going to do with all this stuff that comes in, all that. So as we prepare for a disaster through prevention programs, fuels reduction programs, I think a community prepares for that through their relationships. And the Red Cross is a key component in the relationships that you need to have in place before it happens. They're sort of the experts in that side of the house. The taking care and feeding of the public, the animals that come off of there, the pets. Firefighters are good at getting pets out of the fire line and into a truck. What do we do with them? We start looking for the Red Cross. We help people get out of there. The cops are in there evacuating people. What do they do once they get them safe? They look for people like the Red Cross to staff the evacuation centers and take care of those folks. If that's a relationship, the better it is before the disaster, the smoother it's going to work when you have a disaster.
Well, first and foremost, Red Cross is there before the emergency. They are active in our planning that we do every day before an emergency happens. They participate in our training programs and our exercises. So they're a full partner from the very beginning before any incident occurs. So when the incident does occur, it's easy to call upon the Red Cross because we know who they are, we know what they're capable of doing, and we rely on those resources.
Red Cross here locally is a great organization. It's headed up by Scott Emerson, phenomenal CEO. Scott actually gets it. He gets the fact that, hey, wait a minute, we got to be ready when that incident happens. Emergencies occur all the time, but you can't wait and then put your act together after the emergency has happened because the families or whoever are in immediate need.
You know, the partner agencies in the Las Vegas area were tremendous and phenomenal. I really think that's what sets Las Vegas apart, but doesn't get a lot of notoriety sometimes. Every single partner agency answered the call. Every single one of them provided assets, whether it be people or stuff, expertise, to come together and really serve those that were displaced by this Carpenter 1 fire.
You have to have the people. This is all about, emergency management is all about relationships. It's all about networking. It's all about knowing who you can contact when you need help. Okay. Flip side of that, you also need to have people in those seats that are willing to do that, such as the Red Cross. Those were long hours that we spent up on that mountain.
I think it's really important that all agencies put aside their own agendas and simply view all of the agencies as extensions of one another. And if you have that attitude and that level of cooperation, that level of genuine camaraderie amongst agencies, I think it's just natural that when a situation happens, you're going to come together as the family that you really are.
As a community, we came together like no one could have anticipated.
You know, fire hurts, Red Cross helps. I saw that. You know, I saw the damage the fire did. I saw the assistance that the Red Cross provided. And was very impressed. They were in our incident command post embedded with us, but they weren't on our toes. You know, they let the firefighters do the job. They knew what they needed to do, what their job was, and they did it really well. Pleasure to work with them. You know, honestly, I can say this is the best collaboration relationship that we've had with the Red Cross.
We couldn't survive without them, actually. We just had a building fire, apartment complex that built in my district. Red Cross was the first one on the scene. They make sure they work with our animal control now so that we can actually get pets into housing. When people never thought about that part of it till Katrina happened. So Red Cross not only responds with blankets, they actually help people with housing. They get them their clothing. They know the kids still have to go to school while they're in this intermittent phase.
And they've been through this drill a zillion times, and they're excellent at it. And they take charge of that family and lead them into the next recovery phase. Again, put them in the house, put them someplace where they can get their family together and get their focus on what to do next.
You know, the spirit, the community that is Las Vegas and Clark County was evident. Sometimes too evident. We got a little bit more water and Gatorade than the firefighters could drink in a month of these things.
In just a few more hours, the last of the evacuees of the Carpenter 1 fire will finally be able to go back home.
We also understand that volunteers with American Red Cross will be delivering care packages as well to those people.
Yeah. This just goes to show you how generous and caring this community really is during a time of desperate need. So many people and organizations have come forward.
They are now depending on the Red Cross to get by every single day.
You know, everybody evacuated off the mountain. Everybody got out safe. Everybody had a place to go. Everybody knew where they were going to eat dinner that night. Even though it wasn't where they wanted to eat dinner, they knew that they were going to get a dinner. And that network in place before the disaster is what's really important.
The introduction to the Red Cross was truly remarkable, because they, likewise, the professionals in these type situations, I learned that they've been in Las Vegas since 1917, and they've been there and done that. Their ability to come in immediately and not only support the residents that certainly were displaced, but everything else that was indirectly tied to the fire. And the professionalism, the experience, the integrity of what they did on the front end all the way through the event was just amazing, and something we in Las Vegas should be very proud of.
I probably have always taken the Red Cross for granted. I had a neighbor who actually used to volunteer, drive the trucks, and I feel somewhat embarrassed that I had never donated before. So, you know what? Sometimes when you're in need, you make sure everybody else knows it's time to give back.
Red Cross was absolutely hands down invaluable. I couldn't imagine tackling the entire fire without the Red Cross.
If we didn't have a Red Cross in Las Vegas, we'd be in a lot of trouble. The Red Cross provides a support to the community that local government simply doesn't have the resources to do. And the support that Red Cross receives from the community makes everything possible.
We couldn't have done this without them. The other thing that they were able to get the donations from the citizens, and the outpouring from the community was nothing I've ever seen.
I know Scott Emerson well enough to know that he would not want his agency to be the sole focus, but rather it's the collaborative efforts of all of the agencies that he would want to be the sole focus of this video.
Although we answered the phone, it was really the community partners that came together to answer the call. Collectively, we brought our resources together to serve those that were displaced, those that had no home, found a home, those that had no food, were provided food and emotional support, and I can't thank the community partners enough in this town for coming together and doing that. We did that seamlessly, we did it effortlessly, because many organizations made really light work of the heavy load we had to lift.
And they don't get the recognition they truly deserve. The American Red Cross certainly, as an organization, is well known internationally. But when you see them, feel them, hear them, and touch them in an event like this, then you truly appreciate what they bring to the Las Vegas community.
We need them, they are there, and I think in this disaster or this event here, they really showed what they could do. And again, you'll find a number of people that are there, you know, just champions now for the Red Cross, because we saw what they could do.